of birth and death. How does it ever end? It seems desires never come to an end. And the questioner has drawn me a helpful diagram of the state of affairs. Desires, arrow, action, result of action, fulfill the desires, collect more, and then more desires, more action, more fulfill the desires, collect more desires. This is the loop. Well, very good question. There is a verse, a mantra in the Mundakopanishad. Bhidyate hridaya granthihi chidyante sarva samshayaha kshiyante cha asya karmani tasmin drishte paravare. When the avara means lowly, first meaning, the one who thinks herself, himself to be lowly. The avara, what happens to the avara? Sees oneself as para. Tasmin Brahmani, in that Brahman, the one who sees oneself as both para and avara. Avara from a standpoint of the body-mind-sense complex, para in essence, non-separate from the whole, all glorious, free. That's the one. One who sees oneself as para, previously who was seeing oneself as lowly, avara. Or you can say para, cause, avara, effect, that which came later. When when what the person thought oneself to be as effect, the person recognizes herself, himself as the cause, as non-separate from the cause. Effect, non-separate from Brahman, cause, non-separate from Brahman. Then three things happen. The heart knot is torn asunder. What is this heart knot? Ajnanam. Very naughty, pun intended. Atma Ajnanam, heart knot, is cut, torn asunder. All the doubts come to an end. And all the karmas, karma, karmani, karmani. That means there is more than two, at least. Three. All the three karmas. What are the three karmas? Prarabdha, Sanchita, Agami. All the karmas come to an end. When the karmas come to an end, where is the rebirth? Nowhere. How do the karmas come to an end? Karmas come to an end because the karta comes to an end. Karta commits harakiri, a kind of a suicide. The ahankara, the karta, commits a suicide. Karta is falsified. And therefore anything belonging to the karta, anything attached to the karta, anything connected to the karta is falsified. It's like I always say, it's like a dead person's bank account. If the person hasn't left a will, this much to my daughter, this much to my son, this much to my brothers, like this, has not left a will because didn't think he would die. so quickly. Hadn't left a will, and then the name is there, the bank account is there, but who does it belong to? No one. No claimant for the karma. Karma is mithya. Satyavat bhati, it actually shines, appears to be real because I buy into the karma through doership. Through this, I claim it saying, I have done this. Oh no, I am guilty. Oh no, I am upset. Oh no, I am hurt. This is what I say, and I own up the karma, and the bridge to owning up the karma is doership. In the light of this knowledge, when the spoof between para and apara is totally dispelled, then the karta is not there. I am there. But karta, I understand, is a superimposition upon the I that is free of kartrutvam, doership. Bhokta, the receiver, what is that called? Experiencer, enjoyer, etc. That is also a status as though superimposed upon the Atma, which is free of what? Bhoktrutvam, enjoyership, experiencership. And so when the ship of doer and experiencer sails away, then we have what? Atmajnanam. And the karma is dropped because there is no claimant. And therefore, when there is no claimant, there is no karma. When there is no residual karma, there is no punarjanma, no rebirth. Desires are there, and desires are not of the binding variety, so they become vibhuti, vibhutayaha, glories to be enjoyed. If they are there, well and good. If they are not there, no problem at all. This is how the cycle of birth and death ends, because I stop buying into it as a reality. Then, how does jnanam, I suppose atmajnanam, self-knowledge, penetrate from the mind, sukshma sharira, to karana sharira? It doesn't have to penetrate. Where does the ignorance shine? Where does the ignorance, let's put it differently, where is the ignorance felt? In the mind, naturally. I observe the mind and I say, I am ignorant. Why? Because I am identified with the mind. Since I am identified with the mind, I say, I am ignorant because in that moment, I is equal to what? Mind. So it doesn't have to go to the Karana Sharira. This question is being asked because the Karana Sharira is, what is Karana Sharira? Ajnanam. So you don't have to put Jnanam in a plane and send it to Karana Sharira. Wherever it may be housed, doesn't matter. But where it is felt, where its effects are felt, where its influence is felt, that is where the problem is. I am an idiot. That is where the problem is. I don't like myself. That is where the problem is. I want something other than this. That is where the problem is. And where the problem is, that where the problem is felt, is where it should be dealt with. So supposing there is, some wound on the skin, but then there is the feeling that it's connected to some other thing, still first you have to heal the wound where it is. That's how it is. So you don't have to worry about Karana Sharira, Sukshma Sharira, etc. The mind is where the ignorance is felt. In fact, it's manifest there, but the ignorance is centered on the I. Because I claim that status, I am ignorant, I claim it. And so the ignorance is centered on the I, and this centering of the ignorance on the I is evident in the mind. It's an object of my observation. So the jnanam tells the mind that it tells the mind to mind its own business and to not poke its nose in matters which don't concern itself. You are inert, you are just a place where the knowledge happens, you are not the author of this knowledge. That is what the mind is told. You are just a receptacle to hold this knowledge. You are a place where the knowledge shines. That's why I have to keep you clean like a mirror, because the cleaner it is, the greater and the more clear the pratibimba, the reflection of this knowledge, it happens in the mind. So you have to tell the mind that you are not the author. And so then, a Karana Sharira is not a problem. What is the difference between Lord Shiva and Krishna? No difference. No difference. Spelling is different. Number of letters are different if you write in English. No difference. From a certain standpoint, certain form, certain function, called Krishna. Karshati. Krish, to pull, to attract. That's why everyone is in love with Krishna. All the gopikas are in love with Krishna. And then they're all married. The husbands don't mind because they're also in love with Krishna. No problem. That which is a universal symbol of manifestation of love, Ananda. Ananda is a dynamic form of love. That is Krishna. And Shiva is what? Auspiciousness. Untouched by papa punya. Same Bhagavan is described. Same Bhagavan is described as Krishna. Same Bhagavan is described as Shiva. And the followers fight. Bhagavan watches him, has fun. That's why Bhagavan doesn't need to spend on cable TV. Free entertainment. Every jiva is a reality channel. 24 hours comedy, even when there is tragedy. It is comical. So, no difference. Please say more about this verse, na tatra suryo bhati na chandra tarakam, etc. More means I should have said at least something. I don't recall having said anything so far. This is Bhagavan giving address. Yes. In Bhagavad Gita also it comes in the 15th chapter. Natad bhasayate suryaha. There the sun does not shine. Oh, must be lovely, moonlit, cool night, wonderful home of Bhagavan. Bhagavan's address. Na shashanko na pavakaha. Moon also does not shine. Oh, maybe nice little candlelight. Very nice. Ambience for knowing Bhagavan. In the candlelight I will have darshan. No pavakaha, no candle lights. Do I really want to go there? It looks pitch dark. No source of light. And as I'm thinking this, the second line comes upon me. What is the second line? Yad gatva na nivartante. Once you go there, you don't come back. Bhagavan is sounding like the black hole. Whatever you put in it, it swallows up. Black hole is in the middle of every galaxy. Whatever you put, hoovers up. Nothing escapes. Nothing comes out of the other end. Where it goes, we don't know. They say it goes in a time warp. Means it is a place where neither time, nor space, nor gravity operate. And yet, it has a force. Do you want to go there? No. And proudly Bhagavan says, Tadhama paramam mama. This is my ultimate abode. The idea is that of, Natad bhasayate surya means the sun does not light up this place. Neither can the moon nor the stars. Same thing here. Na tatra suryo bhati, na chandra tarakam, no stars, no moon, na ima vidyutaha bhanti. These strikes of lightnings, what to talk of them? And what to talk of Agni, fire, candle, torch, nothing. But it's not a dark place. It's not a black hole. Going there, you never come back, all these things. It's a place that is lit up by itself, not requiring any luminaries like sun, moon, etc. It is a place that is lit up by itself, self-lit place. And so it is all light. It's not that there is no light, it's all light. And that's what is explained in this mantra. Tameva bhantam. In fact, you don't require the sun, moon and stars to give it light, to bring it to light. It is that which brings the sun, the moon and the stars to light. It shines. This light shines. This self-lit light which is not established by any pramana, which is myself alone, shines. And everything shines after it. The sun shines after, because first we say the sun illumines the eyes, or do the eyes illumine the sun? Eyes illumine the sun. I say, this is the sun. And so that consciousness, that light of consciousness, going through the eyes, going through the means of knowledge called the eyes, objectifies the sun. One light. Going through the eyes, it becomes sight. Going through the ears, it becomes the power of hearing. Going through the mouth, it becomes the power of taste, etc. One light. Like even if a single lamp is covered with an earthenware upturned pot with holes. Let's say it has 5 holes and you keep it in a dark room. What do you see? 5 streams of light ensuing. This was how they used to entertain children in olden times. Oh, 5 lights. No, look, how many lights? 1. 5. Magic. How did the 1 become 5? What is the answer? The 1 did not become 5, as though 5. I've heard that Brahman is beyond space and time. Yet, my existence is where? in space, in time. And then the questioner says, I cannot imagine existing without space and time. How can I understand the absence of space and time? You don't have to understand the absence of space and time. You have to understand that you are not confined to space and time. Space, it's the opposite. It's like, in the beginning, what do we say? What is this? Pot. What's inside the pot? Space. Space is inside the pot. Refuses to come out. Even when I do like this. Even when I do like this. Doesn't come out. Space is in the pot. Continues to be in the pot. Pot space. Right? So my first conclusion is space is in pot. Really? Is space in pot or is pot in space? Pot is in space. Room is in space. Yet we say room space, hall space, bedroom space, living room space, closet space. That is from a standpoint. From the standpoint of the body-mind-sense complex, you say, yes, this body is subject to time. Just look at some photograph 10 years before. Then you will know. Body is subject to time. Body is subject to space. But the one who says, oh, how nice I used to look 10 years ago, that one is not subject to either space or time. Space becomes evident to me. Is it not? Do you become evident to space? Does space say hello? No. Space becomes evident to whom? To you. Time becomes evident to whom? To you. Time also same thing. So the I is free of time and space. This is not some kind of an abstraction. It's the reality. It's the truth. And you experience timelessness all the time. When? In sleep. Whether that sleep happens in Vedanta class or in the bed in its usual time, you are experiencing timelessness. All the time you are experiencing timelessness in sleep. And when you have samadhi with your mobile, nirvikalpa samadhi with the help of mobile phone. Actually, what is it? What is the definition of a mobile phone? That which makes me immobile. Without it is in whose absence I become immobile, in whose presence also I become immobile, because I'm just looking at it like that all the time and doing something. That is what is called mobile. Phone is mobile, but I am immobile without it. And so when I'm looking at something, when you are looking at something that is very interesting, chatting with a friend, then finally you look up, then you realize you need a massage. And then you look at the clock and go, OMG. I don't even know how the time went. What were you doing this time? Timelessness. You're experiencing timelessness all the time. You're reading a book. You're talking to a friend. You have no idea where you yourself have no idea where the time went. So you can imagine existing in time, existing without time and space. In dream also. Dream time is and dream space is very different from waking time and waking space. And our waking time and waking space is very different from the celestial waking time and waking space. Once one person said, I want to Lord Krishna, I want to study Vedanta with you. And Lord Krishna said, yes, sure, I will teach. Please, my throat is very dry. Bring me a glass of water. And the river was right there. So he went. And as he was filling the pot of water, a sweet young thing was filling her pot of water on the other side of the bank. He forgot all about Krishna's thirst. Krishna's thirst, forgotten. His thirst for Vedanta, forgotten. Then what happened? Where do you live? I want to meet your father. I want to ask him your hand in marriage. Marriage takes place. Not the one that's happening in the next 2 days, but the other marriage takes place. And then all is forgotten. We for Vedanta doesn't know. But a certain wistfulness is there. And then he has 3 children. And the wistfulness for wanting to study Vedanta is expressed in their names. First one, Isha. Second one, Kena. Like this. Katha, third one. Named after the Upanishads. Alas, he could not study. But still that was not enough for him to think about Krishna. Nothing. He just was like, oh, let's name them after Upanishads. Then as they were celebrating their 25th anniversary, 25 years passed. The children left home, got married, started their own businesses. They were all independent and doing well. Alas, a flash flood comes to town. And then the wife is swept away. He is swept away this side. Wife is swept away that side. Lost his house, lost all his possessions. That's when Krishna, he calls out. Then he said, oh my God, Krishna is waiting for a glass of water. Then he remembers. Then, then everything is gone. The whole family is gone. Nothing to bank on. And so, very shamefacedly he goes to Krishna. In those days you could have, interloka travel very easily without visa. So he goes. And he just says, very shamefacedly gives the water. Krishna scolds him. He says, what? What are you doing? The river is right here. And you've been gone 25 minutes. So time is a very big spoof. Space is also a very big spoof. And that's why these stories are there, to call out this spoof. How to strengthen our bhakti? Can you please advise? Certain things are done, certain things are strengthened by actually doing them. How to become compassionate? By engaging in acts of compassion. How to have Shraddha? By overcoming Ashraddha, by overcoming distrust. How to engage in bhakti? Fake it, yes. Even when you don't have the feeling, develop a relationship with the object of that symbolizes Ishvara. So the relationship is symbolic and the object is symbolic. You're not worshipping the object, idol, nothing. You're worshipping Ishvara through a medium because everything is Ishvara. Have an altar. It can be simple and offer something every day, whatever it is there. Some fruits, water, dry fruits, something. Light a lamp if you have time. Some minimal puja. You don't have to think of 16 steps. You can have 1-step puja. Little more time, 3-step puja, 5-step puja, doesn't matter. That becomes an everyday habit. I wake up and do this every morning. When one day I'm having a lot of stress at work, let us say, and the person just goes away without forgetting to doing the puja, forgets to do the puja, just gets out of the door, gets in the car, starts to drive. Oh no, forgot. What to do? Now it is getting late. But turns around, comes back, parks the car, unlocks the door, and quickly, speed puja, express puja, does and goes. Then that is called sthira bhakti, because it mattered. Bhakti is of no use to have in the heart. Would you do that to the significant other? I know it's your birthday, but I'm not going to wish you. All my wishes are in the heart. What will happen? The significant other will make you insignificant. That's what will happen. The word significant will drop and the word other will remain. That's all. You have to go through the motions. You have to, if there is bhakti, is love. In the Bhakti Sutras of Narada, what is the first sutra? Parama Prema Swarupa Bhakti. Sage Narada defines bhakti as the ultimate expression of love, which is unconditional. You have to express that. You can't just say, I hold it in the heart. So you have to get balloons, get a card, get a cake, and a big fat present after all this. And then what? You take the pains to wrap the present. Put a, what is that? Ribbon on it. Make a nice bow. And then you take it, you sing happy birthday, you make a fuss, you jump around. And then you give it. What is that person going to do? Tear it up. Tear the ribbon. Tear the box. Tear the wrapping. And then you don't say, oh, I wrapped it so nicely, now you're tearing it. No, you want them to open it. That's the fun. You take the care to express that. To express what this person means to you. So the person can see how much trouble you have taken to show your feelings. Then only it is love. Then only it matters. Same thing here. Relationship to Bhagavan also same thing. That feeling cannot just be, oh yes, I have bhakti in the heart. Patram pushpam phalam toyam. There is a verse in the Bhagavad Gita, where the Lord very graciously says, whoever offers whatever, be it patram, what is patram? Leaf, pushpam, flower, phalam, fruit, or even just water, toyam. Whoever offers with a feeling, I accept it. That is Bhagavan's graciousness. That doesn't mean you quote the Bhagavad Gita and say, here, have some water. That's not the excuse. That's not where this conversation has to go. Strengthen the bhakti means let the feeling come out. Let the feeling come out and let it be directed to first an Ishta Devata. Ishta Devata means a manifestation of Bhagavan with which you can relate. You have to relate to something. You know this, what is that? In America, here, they have a, when they, about I think 10, 20 years ago, chia pet. It was just flax seeds planted in some kind of a animal looking like planter or something like that.
It is still sold somewhere.
It's still there?
Christmas time.
Ah, Christmas time. You water it every day and then it grows, looks like a hedgehog, looks like something. After a while it dries out, you throw it away. After chia pet, then you graduate to a potted plant. Because you have to learn to not kill things, okay? Yeah. So you have to learn to take care of things. That's the idea. And then you water the plant, and if you overwater it, it dies. If you underwater it, it dies. And then it gets all these aphids and other bugs and everything. You have to have little soap water in the spray bottle and keep spraying all these things. So from potted plant, everything you just graduate to other things. Maybe a pet dog, pet cat. Dog, too much work. You have to take it for walks and all these things. Cat, it will ignore you. You can ignore it and live happily, coexist. Then after all that, what is there? It's too much. Even that is too much. Maybe one is older or something like that. Then this, what is that? One very enterprising person came up with a idea. Buy your pet rock. Pet rock. Okay? And it would maybe be painted, or I don't even know what it looks like. Pet rock. You pay money for it and then you bring it home. Nice. Unconditional love. Don't even have to feed it. Don't have to take it to the bathroom. Nothing. We have a pet rock. It's called Shiva Linga. That is our pet rock. Everything has come from here only. Everything has come from the Shastra. That is our pet rock. Shiva Linga. Oh, but I don't like that. Okay, Saligrama, another pet rock. Either the pet rock symbolizes Shiva or Vishnu. Even that on the altar, it's sacred because you have validated it and given it the power to validate you. It's amazing. It's just really, really amazing. You have given this stone the power, because it's not a stone. The stone is a stand-in for that which is the cause of the universe. The cause of the universe is invoked in a stone because you have given that power to that. You have consecrated that to stand in for that. You have validated this stone to become a linga. Linga means an insignia of Lord Shiva, a stand-in for Lord Shiva, and that is going to validate you. You have given the permission for it to validate you. It's just mind-blowing. And in this way, bhakti succeeds because everything becomes real. The time you do the invocation becomes real. Bell becomes real. Incense becomes real. Sitting in a certain posture becomes real. It's all a routine and a habit which is filled with meaning and feeling. In the beginning, the feeling is not there, may not be there. You grow into it. And as Pujya Swamiji used to say, fake it until you make it. But you're not really faking it. That is what one craves. Love is what one craves. And so you're not really faking it. You're thinking you're faking it. That's all. This is a two-part question. What's the other part? Will you agree to chant one chant for us? Sure, I have agreed, but that doesn't mean when or what. Let us see. How do we identify and neutralize unconscious samskaras? The point is this: since they are unconscious, how do we understand what they are? Or even that they are there. One lady told me, I don't know why you keep going on and on about this unconscious mind. I don't have it. I said, really? Yes, I don't have it. You may have it, the whole world may have it. I don't have any such thing called unconscious mind. I was tempted to say, I don't believe you. And see what happens when I said that. But she's an elderly lady, so I said, okay, it doesn't matter. I said, that's wonderful. But that was a few years back. And then later she said, what did she say? She said, I think I may have a small unconscious mind, small one. I said, good, nice that you're discovering it. How do you know it is there? Because it comes out, it advertises itself. The whole world, we walk in the world smearing all objects with our unconscious projections. Something looks scary. And the Shastra is rife with examples like this. A woman moves into a new house and she feels that somebody is watching. First she thought it's the people who were moving the boxes. But still, this man was watching from the garden, just like this, watching. Called 911. They came. Where is he? Right there in the bushes, among the trees. They shone the light. It was a stump of a tree like this. Sthanuhu is equal to Purusha. Sthanuhu, stump of a tree, inert, non-scary, which she mistook for what? Purusha. It's because of the unconscious mind. Rope is seen as snake. Why? Because the unconscious mind has the stored fear of snake. I smear the world with the coloration of my projections. The projections have a clue of the unconscious mind. And the reactivity that is there when somebody says something, because I have already done a projection, if they say even something benign, the sky is blue, I get angry. Why do I get angry? Because I mistake what they say. It irks me because I don't see them as they are. I see them as what? Remnants of mommy, remnants of daddy, pieces of mommy are just pasted all over the universe. That's all it is. Other relationships also, but the primary relationship is the one with the caregivers, and that is what has to be handled. So whenever one is angry, the unconscious mind has come out. Whenever one is sad, it's the unconscious mind. Whenever one is reactive, it's the unconscious mind. Whenever one targets somebody else, it's the unconscious mind. Okay, I don't target others, I target myself. Is that okay? That's also the unconscious mind. But you are putting all the blame on me. It's not blame, it's the reality. It's the reality. Vedanta is an inside job. And this is what we keep harping, inner cleansing, antahkarana shuddhi. Freedom from raga, dvesha. All this, we keep talking. So the unconscious mind is there. How do we know it's there? Because it comes out to say hello. When? All the time in the beginning without Vedanta. Some of the time later on. And that reduces. The more the clarity, the more the inner growth, the more the knowledge dawns on the mind and ornaments the mind, the lesser is the hold of, less and less is the hold of the unconscious mind. We are not trying to get rid of the unconscious. It is Ishvara Srishti. It's like when some guest comes suddenly, you don't have time to clean. What do? Put everything in a cupboard and close it. Hope for the best. That's what this previous vice president, did apparently. When Biden was the vice president, and the new vice president at that time, who was that? Pence. And family came to see the house, even though they knew it was not a surprise visit or anything. They knew, but they were busy and they didn't have time. They put everything in a cupboard and, both of them stood against it and nicely pressed it and closed it. Then the bell rang. They went to receive. And Mrs. Pence was looking at the house and opened the cupboard. Everything. It came in the news. Everything fell on her head. That's what the unconscious mind is. Except you didn't do that. Bhagavan did that. For this little child, the Bhagavan put all the feelings, the pain, the neglect, the sorrow, mummy issues, daddy issues, more mummy issues, more daddy issues in a sack. Close the mouth of it so that the child would grow freely without the burdensome weight of the unconscious, because it doesn't have the wherewithal to clear it. So because the brain is not developed, emotions are not developed, what will it do with it? That's why it is unconscious. The child grows up happily. And then later on it comes out in a trusted relationship, because that trusted relationship mimics that of the early childhood relationship with the primary caregivers. So in a trusted relationship, where finally it is safe enough to feel unsafe, the unconscious mind comes out again like lava, unstoppable. You are always like this. And the other person is surprised. You've only known me just for 5 minutes. What do you mean always? Then you say, oh, okay, something is wrong. I better take some time out. Go under the covers for a few. Go undercover for some time. It's finally safe enough to feel unsafe. But one learns to not project. That's a very important thing. To withdraw the projections. To not paint the whole world and target other people. You are like this, you are like that. You've been studying Vedanta for how long? And how you are acting? How you are behaving? What is wrong with you? And it doesn't stop. Everywhere it's like that. And in Vedanta circles, we have to be very, very careful about this. Otherwise, the blame game goes on. You've done a 3-year course? OMG. This is all a statement not about the other person, but oneself. You don't leave in the wake of your moving through life a big debris of the unconscious for other people to pick up and clean up. We reduce the unconscious footprints. We forget carbon footprint. Unconscious footprint we reduce by practicing ahimsa. Ahimsa towards myself, ahimsa towards everybody else. 2 things are required. One is to train the mind through meditation, upasana, quietude, tranquility, whatever other sadhanas that are there, to listen to you, to sit when you say sit, to stand when you say stand, to stay. This is called chitta naishchalyam. Ask the mind to stay. And it should listen. It should not say, I'm not going to stay. That's what it's doing now. I have to train the mind to just sit and listen. Then what happens is that's the first thing. Then the second thing is that the mind will sit and stay only for so long. I have to give the feelings, even though I don't know the origins. Where this feeling has come from, I don't know, because it's unconscious. But the feelings are there. The feelings have surfaced to the conscious mind. I'm painting the whole Jagat and all the people with these feelings. So the feelings need a proper outlet where one does not target oneself or another. That proper outlet is in the Shanti trail. Far away that side. Nobody even knows you're there. And even if they see you acting weird, they will get some ideas for themselves. You'll be inspiring them. Oh, this also I can do. Very nice. Safe outlet. You can yell it out, scream it out, write it out, talk it out with a therapist, with a friend, and other supportive measures, yoga, taking walks, doing something to nurture that hollow space within so that you don't become a beggar for other people's validation and love all the time. There has to be something here. Enough to give, not always take, take, take. I appreciate that there is a hollowness. I have to tell this to myself. I appreciate that there is a hollowness. But I have to see and understand that I am the best person to fill it. That is what it takes. These two things it takes. Chitta Naishchalyam and providing a safe outlet, which means I don't target anybody else and I don't target myself. Pujya Swamiji used to say, spirituality begins when you stop blaming others and when you stop blaming yourself. This one I think we'll leave for tomorrow. How Swami Dayananda ji started in Rishikesh. Yes, that will be a nice thing for tomorrow. Keep this safely back in the box and somebody please dispose these off. Om Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinaha Sarve Santu Niramayah Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu Ma Kaschid Dukkha Bhag Bhavet Asato Ma Sadgamaya Tamaso Ma Jyotirgamaya Mrityorma Amritangamaya Om Purnamadav Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadagya Purnamevavashishyate Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om. Does that count as a chant?